Alright folks, I'm back at CSI Hidden Crimes. Let's start case 7. CSIs. A dead body was found on West Las Vegas University's football field. Head out there to check it out. Some people put it all on the line for the game. Hopefully this is an accident and not some foul play. Okay, here we go.
Very precious. You want to make sure to protect it. You want to have it consumption of various foods can wear your animal. Yellow work. Toothpaste because it helps protect and strengthen your enamel. It's going to make them more resistant to the acid erosion, so that your teeth are not.
Here we go.
You feel good about your smile. It's such a wonderful combination. It's pro enamel. It's good for your enamel. It's a positive.
Ad poster.
After more than 20 years, you can now join Angie's List for free. That means everyone has access to our real reviews that we actually verify. And we can also verify that what goes down doesn't always come back
Got it.
up.
Your victim is a young female in a cheerleader outfit. Liver temp suggests she's been dead for less than 4 hours. Plenty of time for the killer to get away. Hopefully not long enough for them to cover their tracks. Notice anything else, Super Dave? Her lips are blue, which suggests loss of oxygen. I'll get her back to Dr. Robbins for autopsy. There we are. Analyze the victim's body. That will take 2 hours and 42 minutes. Okay. I'll get some more stars, so sit tight, folks. Alright, folks, we're back. Let's get the results of the autopsy. Back in CSI Hidden Crimes. David was right about the oxygen loss. This young lady died of asphyxiation. I'm about to dissect her trachea to see what might have blocked her airways. Mind if we take a look at it under the UV lamp? Yeah, sure, no problem. You might also want to analyze these fabric pieces found under her fingernails. Looks like she fought back pretty hard. She's in good physical shape. Her killer must have been strong to subdue her. Your killer should be very athletic. Thanks, Doc. Let's hope she got a piece of her killer. Hour 21, and the trachea now. Got them all. Whoa, you did a great job with the trachea. There's some hard plastic pieces in there and some fiber traces. Not the sort of things you would expect to find. Best to examine it all in the lab. Maybe the pieces will give us a clue to who the killer is. Part of a badge, I think. These plastic pieces seem to be separate from the fiber traces you found in the trachea. These pieces could be important later on if we can find where they came from. Fabric pieces, I'll let it run its course. See y'all for that. In and out. Alright folks, fabric pieces are done. I went through the fabric pieces and it seems to be a cotton poly blend. A cotton poly blend? Very common in a stadium. Can you be more specific? Could it be part of the killer's clothing? Way ahead of you, Nick, as always. My guess is that these fibers came from a towel, which should be in plenty supply in the locker room. The autopsy showed the victim had broken fingernails from trying to protect herself. It looks like we're searching for someone with torn clothing. Great find. Killers have a habit of throwing away perfect evidence. Maybe we'll find something in this trash can. Got the 9. Pom-poms. So a cheerleader and now pom-poms. Pretty easy to see a connection. Take these to Henry to see if he can find anything. .148. See y'all then. Alright. Let's go. We're back in CSI Hidden Crimes. Pom-pom, let's get the results. Well, there are some odd traces on here. Seeing someone is into fetishes. I found male DNA on these pom-poms, and I'm not talking about epithelials. The man who used these pom-poms in sexual activity left a healthy sample, but unfortunately they're not in CODIS. Talk about an extracurricular. I think it's time we talk to the football coach, Victor Sland, and see if he knows who the victim is. Hi Coach, thanks for coming in. We just wanted to ask you about the young lady who was murdered on your field. Murdered? That's terrible. I can't tell you much. I've never seen her before. That's strange. I figured you would know who the cheerleaders for your football team are. I do know all our cheerleaders, but I'm telling you that young lady is not on the squad. I wish I could tell you more. Thanks Coach, you've been very helpful. So our victim isn't a cheerleader, but why was she dressed like one? Greg's still searching the field. You should help him out. minute. There we are. This soil trace doesn't look like the same color as the rest of the field. Better get it back to the lab. And that plastic card is pretty worn out. Maybe you could find who else was out here on the field. Soil sample. There we are. This soil trace is definitely different from the soil on the field. This has organic pesticides, most likely used in a home garden. A different soil than on the field. I think we should talk to Coach Sland again. Maybe he knows who else was on this field. Thanks for coming back in, Coach. We have just a few more questions. Anything I can do to help you guys? We want the killer caught right away. We can't afford bad press. We found a soil trace on the stands that's most often used in home gardening. Who has access to the field? Unfortunately, a lot of people. Janitorial staff, the football team, cheerleaders, marching band, my staff, and that's just for starters. Thanks, Coach. Keep winning those games. I'm a season ticket holder. That soil was in a clean area. I'm sure it came from the killer, but too many people have access to the field. Did it? Good job. We were able to obtain an ID from the worn ID card. It belongs to Heidi Loris, an honor student at WLVU. An honor student hanging out after hours at a football field? Maybe she saw something. Let's bring her in. So, Heidi, want to tell me why we found your student ID card at the football stadium? I was there visiting my boyfriend. I go to all his practices. I must have dropped my ID when watching him practice. Did you happen to see any other girls there, perhaps dressed as a cheerleader? No, I was the only girl in the stands. I heard about that poor girl on the news. Very tragic. It is. By the way, Heidi, what's your boyfriend's name? My boyfriend? Well, you probably heard of him. His name is Tad Aldecott. He's the starting quarterback at WLVU and gonna go pro one day. This case is only getting us a bunch of suspects with no information on the crime, and we don't even have an ID on the victim. We need some better evidence. Oh no. Did not want that. Want to talk to Tad Aldecott. Mr. Aldecott, I must say I'm a fan. You had quite a game last week. 3 passes for touchdowns. Maybe you can assist us now. I'm not sure if I can. I'm guessing you brought me in regarding the girl who was found dead on the field. Murdered. And yes, that's why we brought you in. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary before the murder? Not really. I wish I did, but I left the field right after training. I heard the news on TV the following day, like everyone else. Thanks for coming in. Don't stray too far. We might have more questions for you since you're the team captain. So far, we only have a couple of pieces of evidence from our killer, and we still don't have a murder weapon or an ID on the victim. We're going to need more evidence to catch whoever killed this poor young woman. We'll start Chapter 2 after I get all the stars here. See y'all then. Alright folks, I'm back on CSI Hidden Crimes. Let's start Chapter 2 of this case. Case 7. So, we're looking for a murder weapon. We know the killer walked into the locker room. Maybe they stashed the murder weapon in one of the lockers. Let's go, DB's waiting. Of course, I'm under a happy hour with the golden words. Alright, get 2 coins. Great job. That manure is very out of place for a locker room, and that bag of white powder looks like it might lead somewhere. $2.12. And let's examine the powder bag since I have all the stars. 14 to be exact. Got it. The bag contained a Schedule 2 narcotic, as we expected. But what's interesting is the fingerprints we found belong to the victim and Pimp Purnell. Pimp Purnell? Well, Brass is going to be more than happy to bring him in for questioning. See what this dude's got to say now. Well, Pimp Purnell. So nice to see you again. Captain Brass, you know I always make time for my old friends. Quit the act, Purnell. We know you know this young girl. We found your fingerprints on her bag of narcotics. Whoa, slow your roll, Captain. I ain't never seen that girl before, and I don't know nothing about no narcotics. Is that how you're gonna play it? We're not concerned about your dealing and pimping. We want to find who killed this girl. And I'm telling you, I have no idea how I got involved. Someone's trying to set me up. I'm an honorable citizen. Strange to believe that. Alright, Purnell's not telling us anything. See if you can find anything else in the locker room that will get him talking. Sure that's one. Mouth guard. Dumbbell. There we go, jock strap. The mouth guard probably belongs to one of the players. Let's have a closer look at it to see if we can find out which one. No. Oh, there, finally. Only one energy. Good find. The mouth guard has a number 8 on it from the team roster. That's the quarterback, Chad Aldicott. Why did he leave this behind? Let's ask him. Moment, folks. Okay. Mr. Aldicott, thanks for coming in. We found your mouth guard in the locker room. Normal, but it was sitting on a bench. Mind telling us why you left it behind? Oh, it must have slipped my mind. Not sure why I left it there. Yeah, it might seem normal, but you usually have your head on your shoulders. Why did you forget something this time? Okay, look, I didn't kill her, but I know her, kind of. But what can we say remain confidential? I'm not a priest, Tad, but if this will exonerate you from a murder, you better speak up. I had sex with her earlier, on the football stands. She surprised me in the locker room after the game, but I left and she was still there, alive. I didn't want my girlfriend to find out. Coach would have loved that, but I don't know her name. She just snuck up on me, and it was so surreal. See you guys when the manure sample is done. Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the manure sample now. Well, that was disgusting, processing manure. Forewarning, I do plan to put in for a raise after this. Henry, tell you what, impress me and maybe we'll talk about that raise. So this manure has some epithelial cells on it, so I can tell that it came from a cow, but I don't know why a cow will be anywhere near the locker room. That is an interesting mystery. Maybe Coach could enlighten us. See what Victor Slam has to say. Coach, we found some cow manure in your locker room. Any idea how that got there? No, we keep our locker rooms clean to keep our players healthy, and cow manure is unacceptable. Someone tracked it in there, maybe the killer, and that would mean the killer had access to the stadium. Not many people would stay after practice, and the stadium only allows access to a very restricted group of players after hours. Thanks, Coach. I'd appreciate getting a list of players from you. I'm sure the killer had access to the football stadium after hours. That should narrow down our list of suspects. So Tad was seduced by a groupie dressed as a cheerleader. It also seems that Coach has a problem with Tad's girlfriend. If she changed in the locker room, she could have left some evidence behind in the locker. Search the entire place. Backpack, air freshener, beer cans, pom-pom. Got them all. A backpack and a cell phone. Looks like they might belong to our victim. Better get them back to the lab and see what secrets they hold. Examine. There we are. So this cell phone does belong to the victim, and we finally have her ID, Claire Dobbs. It was purchased and paid for by Pim Purnell. Looks like Pim Purnell hasn't been honest with us. Big surprise. But what's he covering up? What does Pim Purnell have to say now? So, Purnell, we meet again. Mind explaining why you lied about knowing Claire Dobbs when we first brought you in? Oh, Claire Dobbs? I didn't recognize her in the pictures, but I know her. We're good friends. Quit the cover story, Purnell. We know she was hooking and that you're her pimp. So tell us, what was she doing at the stadium? Okay, Captain, I'll get real with you, but only since we're such good friends. I brought Claire there to do some business for me, a little attitude adjustment. She was visiting the quarterback, for morale, bust him out of his slump. That's why she was out there. You're telling me that the star quarterback ordered a hooker when he has a hot girlfriend and can get any girl he wants? Well, Claire isn't any girl, if you know what I'm saying, and he didn't order the slump buster special. Someone else paid for the visit.
Something will show you. There's small things, big things.
So, Tad Aldecott had sex with Claire. You think Heidi knew her boyfriend cheated on her? Interrogate Heidi. Heidi, when you were watching Tad practice, were you looking for something else? Maybe another woman? I know that Tad has a lot of girls come onto him, but he knows better. He's loyal, and we have a strong relationship. But yes, the temptation's there, so I go to the practices to support him. He needs supportive people around him. We heard that Coach Slan isn't that supportive of your relationship with Tad. Coach Slan is a pig. He overworks Tad and stresses him out. If it weren't for me, Tad would have probably dropped out of football, maybe even school.
Just is.
There we are. Okay, so we finally have some information on our victim. This is a photo of someone close to her and the only living relative, her father, Clark Dobbs. The photo matches her father's ID, and get this, he owns a cow farm. We're bringing him down to the station for questioning now. What does Clark Dobbs have to say? I'm sorry for your loss, Mr. Dobbs. Had you seen your daughter recently? I hadn't in some time. She was such a sweet little girl, but I hired a private eye to track her down, and then I found out she was prostituting herself. I assumed that you know what she was up to. I was so upset I came to Vegas right away. I had to see her and try to get her to come back home. We found some cow manure in the locker room, one of her last known whereabouts. You work at a cow farm. I was there. That's where I found her, snuck into the football field and caught her waiting for a client. But she wanted nothing to do with me, refused to come back. I'm sorry, Mr. Russell, this is all really hard for me, and now that she's dead. We appreciate you coming in. We'll be in touch if we find anything else. Thank you. We're getting closer, but without the murder weapon, we can't catch our killer. And we made it to level 34. See you guys for chapter 3. Alright folks, we're back. Let's start the chapter 3 of Whistleblower. So, someone ordered a prostitute for the quarterback and she ended up dead. We need to press Pimp Purnell and find out what he's not telling us. No problem, DB. If he's hiding anything, we'll find out. Pimp Purnell, you're in here so much you're thinking about naming the interrogation room after you. Instead, maybe we'll get you your own cell. Captain Brass, I think I've been more than helpful to you, and you know I'm just a businessman. It's time we talk about your business. Tell us who paid for the quarterback's hooker, or I'll make your life a living hell. Since you asked so nicely, Coach Slan paid for the girl. He was also one of Claire's best customers, although we took her to his house. So, Victor lied about knowing Claire and she'd been to his house numerous times. I think it's time we made a house call. I've already gotten started on the time attack. But of course I am under a happy hour of free 5 minutes. Here we go. Oh, shoe print. Class ring. Wrench. Number plate. There we are. Perfect. Under 8 seconds. And I did 7. Great. This shoe print we found in the dirt looks very suspicious. Looks like someone was sneaking around Coach's house, but why would they? And a class ring? This doesn't belong to Coach Slan. I wonder who left this behind. Let's get them back to the lab. I'm gonna get some 52 minutes. Let's start the class ring anyway. I think I have enough to be able to make it.
These structures will serve as safety containers for human life. The rough surface conditions on the water fields on Mobile are similar to the surface of other planets.
There we are. I compared the prints from the class ring with the prints from our list of suspects. It matched the star quarterback, Tad Aldecott. It's not that strange that a player would be out at the coach's house, but I find it very strange that he would leave his class ring behind. Let's find out what Tad Aldecott has to say now. Tad, we found your class ring. It was at Coach Slan's house. Oh man, I guess I must have left it there last time. I was pretty drunk and took a cab to the stadium to hang out. Drunk at your coach's house and stadium access, you guys must be pretty close. Well, yeah, sort of, although he does get a little too involved with my life. He tries to tell me what to do on and off the field. He's been asking me to break up with Heidi for a few weeks now. He thinks she's bad news and distracts me from football, but she helps with my grades. Trying to break up your relationship with your girlfriend, you can think that might be why he hired a prostitute for you. What? That cheerleader was a prostitute? I had no idea. That must be why she came on so strong. I couldn't resist. Okay, I'll let this run its course. See y'all then. Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the shoe print now. I measured out the shoe sample and found that it's a size 7. Coach Slan wears a size 10, so it wasn't from him. Someone else was lurking around his house. Brass pulled Pimp Parnell's shoe size from another case. It's a 7 too, and this shoe tread looks similar to the kind of shoes Claire's dad was wearing. See what Clark Dobbs has to say. Mr. Dobbs, you found shoe prints similar to yours outside Coach Slan's house. Did you happen to pay him a visit? I found out that he was a client of Claire's. Apparently he liked her to dress up as a cheerleader. I went to confront him. I followed him to the stadium, but she stopped me before I could get to him. Then she told me that she never wanted to see me again. You believe that? It's tough talking to your kids. Did you guys fight? Maybe it got out of control. No, I just left. I was embarrassed, Mr. Russell. I didn't know what to say, and it was obvious she wasn't my little girl anymore. I tried so hard. Tad seemed genuinely surprised Claire was a prostitute. Looks like the coach was full of lies, but he can't hide everything. Let's go and check out his garage. I'm still under happy hour, so I'm still gonna go on. Towel. And pulley. Still learning the ropes, but that's alright. Broken plastic pieces. Those look just like the ones you found in the victim's throat. Maybe they could piece together with the other pieces you found. And the towel has some marks on it. Get this back to the lab fast. I think this is the towel we've been looking for the whole time. I've got to hurry. I want to still at least... There we are. Whoa, that's a whistle. That was broken in her throat. I ran a swab on the whistle pieces and took a DNA sample. The DNA sample is a match to Coach Slan. Did Claire choke on the coach's whistle when she died? Okay, Coach, game over. We found half of your whistle inside Claire's throat and the other half in your garage. Why don't you tell me how that happened? Well, it seems pretty obvious to me. I'm being set up. I have dozens of those whistles laying around. Anyone could have picked that up. You're gonna stick to that story, huh? Alright, Coach, sit tight. Enjoy your last few moments outside a prison cell. There we are. Fragrance sample. The epithelials on the lipstick from the towel matches our victim, Claire Dobbs. The fabric found on her fingernails and inside the trachea are also a match. Congratulations, you found the murder weapon. I noticed something else on this that's a little strange. A fragrance I can't pinpoint. Take it to Hodges to find out what that smell is. Under 4 hours. See y'all then. Okay, folks, let's finish out whistleblower. Let's get the results of the fragrance sample. You were wise to bring this to me. I happen to have a very excellent sense of smell. You may have heard around the office. This fragrance you have brought to me is a woman's perfume known as Desert Nights. It didn't come from the victim, so your killer would have transferred this to the towel. Maybe we should talk to Heidi one last time regarding that perfume, see if her story unravels. And let's do that. Hello again, Heidi. Hey, that's a lovely fragrance you have on. I need to get a present for my daughter. You mind telling me what fragrance it is? Oh, thank you. This is called Desert Nights. I wear it all the time. She'll love it. Thanks for the info. One last thing, can you confirm your shoe size? I'm a size 7. Why'd you ask? We found shoe prints similar to yours outside the coach's house. Why did you go over there? Oh yeah, I went to get Tad because he was too drunk to drive. We stumbled onto the grass as I was helping him to the car. Could it be possible she's the killer? It's 4th and goal with 2 seconds left. Time to bring the ball over the goal line. Coach Slan paid for the prostitute, was sleeping with her, and we found the bulk of our evidence at his home. But did he murder her? Heidi Loris was dating Tad, who had sex with Claire, but did she murder her out of jealousy? Tad had sex with Claire, but he didn't know she was a prostitute at first. Did he find out and kill her out of shame? Purnell was Claire's pimp, and he has a history of taking matters into his own hands. Did an argument with this hooker end in her death? Clark Dobbs is Claire's dad and was devastated to find out what his daughter was doing. Maybe things got out of control and she refused to come back home. All suspects had access to the stadium, but the killer is also athletic, wears a size 7 shoe, has torn clothing, and wears Desert Nights perfume. Only your CSI trained eyes will help us catch the killer. I don't think it's Heidi Loris. Let's see. at her one more time. Athletic? No. Okay, it's not Heidi Loris. She's a student. It's definitely not Victor Sland. It's not Tad Aldecott. Wait, something's not right. Oh gosh. It's a torn shirt. Heidi's shirt is torn. So is Victor Sland. So is Tad Aldecott. He doesn't have a size 7 shoe though. I guess it is Heidi Loris then. Yep. We know you killed Claire Dobbs and tried to frame Coach Sland for it. We found your perfume all over the murder weapon. Coach Sland was a menace. He'd been trying to break Tad and I up for weeks. He even had me over to his house and told me he planned to break us up. You believe that? So you were mad at Coach Sland. Why did you take it out on the girl? Coach Sland invited me to the stadium at the same time Tad was with that girl. I lost control and attacked her with a towel as soon as Tad left. When she died, I broke one of Coach's whistles and pushed it down her throat with a towel. Then I left the whistle pieces and towel at his house. I knew he was setting me up. I wanted to set him up right back for what he did to Tad and me. Heidi, Tad chose to cheat on you. You couldn't have fixed that, but Claire had no idea about you. You attacked the one person who wasn't involved. And now you've ruined your life too. You're going to prison for a long time, Heidi. A sad turn of events. It's a good thing your sharp eye put her behind bars and we didn't arrest the wrong person. That will do. And hopefully I'll get to case 8 soon. I'll see you guys for that. For now, it's just 130 energy coming my way. See y'all then.